I'm explaining to you some amazing, delicious, savory breakfast ideas for the Mediterranean diet that I assure you will make your mouth water and are good for you. And stay tuned to the end where I give you my favorite one of them all. You might have never heard of it. Hey, I'm Dr. Anna. I'm a medical doctor. I was trained in Italy, and on this channel, you are gonna learn how to master your health with the Mediterranean diet. So breakfast is all about jumpstarting our metabolism for the day, firing us up, giving our body lots of energy and nutrition so we can go out in the world and do our thing. Now let's start with a little nutrition 101 before we dive into the breakfast ideas so you really understand why this is so important. I want you to think about breakfast as having a very balanced nutrition to set your metabolism up for success. I always try to approach breakfast and any meal by hitting 3 important nutritional components, and these are protein, healthy fat, and fiber. And all 3 of these together are not only going to be providing your body the nutrition it needs, they're going to help you feel full longer and help improve your blood sugar. So that means after a meal, your blood sugar doesn't spike up too fast and then crash down so that you're feeling sluggish and deflated only a couple of hours after you've eaten. And that obviously wouldn't be good mid-morning because likely you're in the middle of doing something. And slowing down our digestion to improve our blood sugar regulation is not only going to improve how you feel, but it is also going to improve your body's ability to absorb the nutrients out of food. That's obviously crucial because we're meant to eat food, not nutrients. And the process of eating food, breaking it down, and then getting those nutrients into our body and into our cells is what helps sustain us, keep us alive and healthy. And if you're finding this video useful so far, go ahead and subscribe and join our community of healthy eaters. We like to swap lots of recipe ideas and healthful tips, so you don't want to miss out. All right, we are ready to dive into our breakfast ideas that are more savory than sweet. So the way I like to think about this is that in this region of the world, there are certain key foods or key ingredients that are repeated in many dishes and in many meals across all of the cultures of the Mediterranean. So these are really 4 categories of things. You can think about this as vegetables, protein sources, whole grains, and then extra flavorings. By knowing these foods and these key ingredients, we have everything we need to make literally anything. Okay, let's start with the vegetables in this cuisine. These are things like tomatoes, cucumbers, onions, olives, garlic. Then we have our proteins, things like feta cheese, egg, tahini, which is a sesame paste, hummus, which is ground up chickpeas that also has lemon juice, olive oil, and tahini. And then they're going to be things like smoked fish, like a lox, or sardines, mackerel, anchovies. And then we have our whole grains, rice, wheat, quinoa, fresh bread, wraps, and anything that you can make from flour. And finally, we have our flavorings. In the Mediterranean region, there are lots of spices and herbs used, things like fresh basil, thyme, rosemary, literally any herb or spice you can think of. Okay, now that we know what our key ingredients are that can be included in a savory breakfast on the Mediterranean diet, here are my top 4 favorite ideas. Number 1, making a toast. What's really popular nowadays is something like an avocado toast, where you take a really big piece of fresh bread, maybe you heat it up, you toast it, smash some avocado on it, and then put on top of it other things that you might like an egg, or it could be sliced tomato, or it could be chopped onion, cucumber. Drizzle it with some olive oil, put a little bit of spice on it. You can get fancy with this, but it doesn't have to be avocado toast. Something that we like to do in my family is put on a smoked fish spread, so it's called a white fish. It could even be like a cream cheese or a creme fraiche. You could even put on mozzarella cheese, top it with some vegetables and a little bit of a dressing, like a lemon dressing. But the idea is just creating an open-faced sandwich. And if you are gluten-free and you don't eat bread, you can substitute the toast with a rice cake. Idea number 2, this is going to be eating eggs as the foundation of your breakfast. And not in the way we're used to doing it in the US. I'm not talking about eggs, bacon, pancakes, waffles. I'm talking about eggs combined with the vegetables and the other foods that we already talked about before. So this might be an omelet or an egg scramble, including things like feta cheese, mushrooms, spinach, tomatoes, you name it. Whatever vegetable you want to throw in, you can. The other way this is often eaten is as a boiled egg, either a hard-boiled or a soft-boiled egg. You can also have those eggs aside a piece of toast. Okay, breakfast idea number 3. This is something that comes from Israel that I think is so tasty, and it's called shakshuka. And these are poached eggs in a tomato and pepper sauce. This is something that can be really spicy if you like a little heat, or you can make it mild, herby, you name it. But it is so delicious. You often cook it in a skillet on the stovetop, and it's really easy. There are no cooking skills required. Now, before I give you my favorite breakfast idea that you may never have heard of before, I want you to comment below and share what what you usually eat for breakfast and share ideas with our healthy community. Here's my fourth breakfast idea. This is something that I discovered when I did a study abroad semester in college in the south of France, and it is called pissaladière. This is a flatbread that comes from the town of Nice. It's a specialty where they take pizza dough, like a regular flatbread, baked in the oven, and on top of it is caramelized onions, olives, and sardines. I know this sounds crazy, but it is one of the tastiest things I've ever had before in my whole life. It is crispy, it is soft, the flavors are popping, it's unbelievable, and it'd be really easy to make it if you wanted to. Now, the reason this is similar to pizza, cool fact, the town of Nice, which is part of France, used to be part of Italy. So the food of that region is very influenced by the Italian cuisine. You get a little bit of both worlds, the French and the Italian combined, and the flavors are amazing. And now if you are fired up for breakfast and your mind is swimming with all of these ideas, but you realize you have no idea what to eat for lunch, I got you covered. I have a video of lunch ideas on the Mediterranean diet that you're going to be obsessed with. Jump into that video over here and I'll see you over there.